Hi, I'm Sarah with Catch PTSD, making PTSD understandable. Today we're going to discuss psychosis, and I'm going to explain that psychosis does not mean mad. There are many people that understand that PTSD can make someone psychotic. This is a diagnosis generally given as if it's one of the gravest things that can happen, and it's insinuated that without drugs it's permanent. Antipsychotic drugs have a hugely sedative effect on the person and are dangerous to the human body, especially as they're generally given in quite large quantities. If you look up what psychotic means, it states that it's a loss of contact with reality. People who've taken recreational drugs are often deemed psychotic because they may be seeing or hearing things which others can't. But this may not be due to the drugs, but because the drugs have allowed a part inside of them to spring forward and take control of their actions. Bear with me and I'll explain it more fully. In hypnotherapy, therapists are generally told not to treat psychosis, told it's a highly dangerous condition and people may become violent. It's thought hypnotherapy may make it worse, so drugs become the only solution. But we at Catch Hypnotherapy do not believe this. We also do not believe that a psychosis makes someone dangerous, even in tandem with drugs or alcohol. We believe that symptoms of psychosis occur when an upset ego part inside the body takes control of the mind and the body and is trying to show the person what's wrong, using emotion or images or visions, and this is why flashbacks would be an example of psychotic behavior. The person is seeing something which others can't, but it's very real in their mind. Or they might be hearing something others can't, or be acting in a way that's totally different to how they normally act. Catch hypnotherapists understand the mechanism which is making this happen. Deep down inside of us are the parts of us created by a trauma and then pushed downwards so we can carry on our lives. When something happens to remind the body of what happened, that part can surge up the body and into the mind and take control. The person may suddenly feel indescribable anger or immense sadness or fear, whatever the person felt when the trauma happened. After World War I, veterans reported sitting in a park or waiting for a bus and suddenly seeing soldiers, their legs blown off, crawling towards them, blood everywhere, and their hearts would start pumping, and they would be absolutely frozen with fear. It obviously wasn't real in the centre of London, but it was their body showing them, telling them, remember? It was awful. I was so scared. I can't get over it. Help me. These veterans thought they were going mad, and so did their loved ones. But it was just a file in the hard drive that was their mind rerunning the movie, which upset them so much to make the person concentrate on it. The worst thing is that the person, you, does not want to concentrate on that ever again. But you have no choice because the body is rerunning it. When we see someone acting bizarrely, we always think, stay away from them. They're mad. Who knows what they'll do? Even the medical profession will rush drugs forward to stop it. But whatever happened to that person already happened, and they will not react any differently to how they did the first time. A psychotic person is essentially a person who is inside out. The ego part is on the outside. The person has been pushed aside so the message can be sent. Sometimes the strength of emotion pushes the person aside completely, and they have no memory of whatever happened while the part was on the outside. They just come around maybe to find everyone staring at them. The medical profession recognizes this and calls it blackout rage, even if it wasn't rage, but fear or upset or hurt. None of us likes things which aren't normal. We shun it. But these poor people, you if you're experiencing it, can't shun it. It's taken over for a while, and giving someone drugs just represses it until the part gets stronger and can overcome the drug. It's a recipe for disaster, as it ensures the part causes more and more havoc. The person might self-medicate with alcohol or recreational drugs, but the part will use the dissociative feeling this creates to get its message through more easily. It's a quick path through. Ego parts love drugs and alcohol. That's why they call for them. Catch hypnotherapists know that the way to resolve psychosis is to start listening. What happened? What caused this emotion? What impact did it have on the body? What do these images mean that seem so incomprehensible? Where is this emotion coming from? I myself have experienced flashbacks which, if they'd become prolonged, would have seen me diagnosed as psychotic. Once, while on leave from the war in Afghanistan, I was in a field in France walking my dogs, and I was suddenly gripped by this enormous fear that I was going to step on an improvised explosive device. And I fell to the ground, screaming for the dogs and my son to get down. I was screaming for the soldier with the metal detector to come forward and clear the path for me. My heart was pumping like a steam train, and I remember being absolutely petrified, like chanting, "It's not safe, it's not safe." I was aware of my son pulling at my arm, and I kept trying to shake him off as I buried my face in the dust. Then almost as soon as it started, it was done, and I was back in a field in Bordeaux and everything was fine. Anyone watching me would have believed that I'd suddenly gone mad. But this is the textbook definition of psychosis. I'd been in that situation somewhere else. The waving of the grasses had obviously reminded my body of the waving crops in Helmand, and it put two and two together and panicked. Maybe you've experienced something similar. It doesn't have to have come from war. Anything the body's experienced, which was traumatic, can be replayed at any moment. Catch hypnotherapists know that, and just helping someone understand it, experience it, and put it in context diffuses the non-lucid moments. If you're trying to listen, your body does not need to hijack you anymore. It already has your full attention. You can use catch hypnotherapy to communicate with that part or those parts while they're on the inside, so they don't have to fight their way to the outside. We've treated so many people diagnosed as psychotic now, leading perfectly normal lives with no episodes at all. Give us a try. No drugs required.